I had a beautiful dream the other night, but I woke up to a nightmare. Okay, it was my choice to jump on YouTube first thing in the morning, where I was confronted by this.
Come back.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Wait.
That was actress Cheryl Hines, wife of Secretary of Health and Human Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr., convulsing at the idea of going back on The View. Now you can kind of tell she knew what she was getting into by her initial greeting.
All right, ladies.
However, I think she underestimated how nasty these women can be.
The problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history.
I do not.
Nonetheless, she handles this and every other vicious attack exceedingly well, as you'll see. As for my dream, well, I like to believe I was given the answer to a question that's been plaguing me for weeks. If you watch the channel, you may know that earlier this year I had my first solo camping adventure. Now, this site was not accessible by car, so I arrived by kayak.
I see it. I wish you guys could see it.
And although it was a very rewarding experience, not everything went according to plan.
Thing blew over.
For sustenance, I brought only white rice, expecting to pair that rice with some delicious fresh fish. What happened? Well, if you haven't seen the video, I don't want to spoil it for you, but here's a hint.
It's rice.
Now, as I've been contemplating a sequel to that adventure, I've been asking myself, how can I avoid that same fate? Well, I think my dream may have answered that question. The air was cool and crisp, the water calm and clear, felt like fall. The leaves were starting to turn, and I was absolutely slaying fish on an inline spinner. Now, this isn't a completely novel idea. I did have this lure as part of my repertoire on the last trip, but I didn't make it a priority, and I actually never used one. But it makes so much sense. I mean, many species are known to aggressively chase bait fish in the fall. And this thing will get hit by panfish, trout, smallmouth bass, even largemouth bass. It's the set it and forget it of fishing lures. You just throw it out as far as you can, steady retrieve, that's it. Can't fail. So this will be my go-to lure. If weather permitting, I can make another attempt. Now, speaking of slaying, let's watch how Cheryl handles the onslaught of attacks by the most toxic group of women in television history. Welcome back to Shadow Wreckardz, independent media. I'm Scott. Let's continue. The questioning starts off harmless enough.
Well, it was Larry David in 2005 who introduced you to your husband,
Yes.
Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert Kennedy Jr.
Yes.
And the two of you have been married for 11 years. Is this the life you imagine? What's been the hardest part about navigating Washington and the political spotlight?
But as she's sharing her story of her relationship with Bobby in a very heartfelt way, Joy Blowhard fires the first shot.
I had just been in this entertainment sort of bubble, and then I meet him, and he's an environmental attorney, and he's fascinating, and he's interesting, and he's smart, and he's funny, and completely different from anyone I had ever met in my life.
That's for sure.
I know you ladies, I know you love to talk about it.
So the hostile tone has been set, but Sonny comes out of the gate almost congenial.
So during the last election cycle, he threw his hat in the ring to become the president of the United States. But then 16 months later, when it became clear that there was really no viable pathway forward, he throws his support behind now President Trump. And you write in your book that friends called voicing concern, saying, you can't let Bobby do this. He's going to get Trump elected. You've got to stop him. Obviously, that didn't happen. How did you feel about his decision to suspend his campaign and support Trump? And did you share any concerns that you may have had about that?
However, you'll notice that the better Cheryl does, the nastier they get.
Well, I always share all of my concerns with my husband. I have not been a political person. I haven't posted anything on social media other than go out and vote. I never told people who they should vote for. I just said, this is important, you should vote.
So I'm going to skip ahead, but she provides some good insights here. I highly recommend you watch the full interview. That being said, I'm primarily focusing on the sneaky tactics this show uses to manipulate the perception of their audience.
Now,
So you were supportive of his decision to support Trump?
I was at the beginning, what's the word? I was guarded about it. It was complicated, right? Because it's a big change politically. He starts out as a Democrat. So for Bobby to, in the course of a year and a half, 2 years, go from a Democrat to now working with President Trump, that's a leap. But also as a leap of faith, because Bobby has a lot of supporters. He has a lot of supporters that are Republicans, Independents, Democrats.
You know, Cheryl, it's not fair to really put you on the spot about
Thank
him
you.
because you're his wife. I know that.
This is a good time to point out a couple of tactics they use throughout this interview. First, every time Cheryl is making a solid point or connecting with the audience, someone interrupts with either a question or a tangent or a commercial break. Second, this is one of 2 attempts to tempt Cheryl into separating herself from her husband. It's right out of the Mean Girls playbook, you know? If you throw that nerd under the bus, we might let you become one of us. Spoiler alert, she never takes the bait.
But when you say that they are pro-vaccine, it seems as though Bobby and Trump are casting doubt on the efficacy of the vaccine, which makes Americans very nervous. So that's the problem that we're having.
Okay, I understand. I understand that.
She was so prepared for this question.
And it's interesting because I don't know if you saw 60 Minutes just did a piece about the vaccine injury compensation program. So people that have had vaccine injuries can be compensated if they can prove it. And they have paid out $5.4 billion for vaccine injuries.
This is what The View does best. It's generally referred to as gaslighting. That's when you attempt to make someone question their perception of reality. And this is a fantastic example. Cheryl mentions $5.4 billion in vaccine injury payouts. That's a big number. Now, some people in their audience might suspect that's a big number, but they're looking for validation. Validation from their trusted shepherds. The job of The View ladies is to not give the slightest indication that they think $5.4 billion is significant.
They have paid out $5.4 billion for vaccine injuries. So my question is, can we do better?
Is that all vaccines or just the COVID vaccine?
It's all vaccines.
It's all vaccines.
As far as I know. As far as I know.
Okay.
Masterful.
So the question is, yes to vaccines. Yes, they are important, and they are an important part of our healthcare. Can we do better? Can we make them safer? Can we make them...
Now, this next point was gutsy and totally took me by surprise. I never thought they would let someone go here on a mainstream program.
Can we listen to parents who say, my child got the vaccine and changed, and stopped hitting markers, stopped developing the way they were developing? Can we listen to people when they say that instead of saying, you're crazy?
I agree with that, but you want to listen to scientists, right?
And Cheryl, if I could ask you,
Of course, the ladies have a collective meltdown, but I think the damage was done. Time for the big gun to rein her in.
Cheryl?
Yeah, go ahead.
Now,
all right.
I am... This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that, but go ahead. But here's what we're talking about.
I do want to say, you know, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's speaking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get because, you know, yeah, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause and are you able to say, you know, that might not actually be so because I've got my experience and I've lived with this and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
It's a complete rambling word salad, but Cheryl manages to distill the underlying criticism and refute it brilliantly.
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a
There
science
have been
background.
3.
Yeah.
Once again, it's clear she was prepared. Watch her square off and get ready to take on Sonny before they rush to commercial break.
No, to be
You know
honest,
what? One of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But
so
the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have had a science background.
Wait, don't
which
do
our husband
anything
doesn't
else.
have
Don't,
either.
don't say anything else yet.
Because I do
we
wanna-
have to take a break.
I want to respond to both of these coming at you.
Yes, we had to take the break because we had to go to break. But
Yes, but I just wanted to
Yes.
follow up. Because Bobby's background, everything I have seen him do, he has dedicated his career to suing big corporations because of toxins that have been affecting people's health, I should say. So, for instance, Monsanto. He was part of the team that sued Monsanto because of Roundup, a pesticide that was causing cancer.
With GMOs.
Right.
Mhm, I know that.
He sued DuPont. He sued Exxon. And he sued these companies for health reasons because they were causing health problems.
Okay, it's an outright ass kicking at this point, and this is where, starting with Sonny, they begin to punch below the belt.
The problem, respectfully, is that your husband is the least qualified Department of Health and Human Services head that we've had in history.
I do not.
I think that's a very dangerous.
Why is he less qualified than an economist?
I think
How is
that
that
he
possible?
is less
He has spent
qualified.
his career studying toxins, studying people's health, fighting for one guy who was using Roundup for his job.
He has also spread a lot of misinformation, a lot of chaos, a lot of confusion, and I think it's just a very dangerous thing. And I say it with the utmost respect.
Some of it's good and some of it's not. That's the point.
Well,
I think a lot of people would have been flustered at this point. I mean, it's 5-on-1, and they're starting to gang up. Her response crushes it.
Listen, we all have different views here.
Yes.
And when you say, misinformation, disinformation, we could go back to COVID when...
He's connecting circumcision to autism.
May I finish?
please.
When Fauci people were saying when you get the vaccine, you cannot transmit COVID. It will stop COVID. And that was disinformation, misinformation.
We were also still learning about it. It was a novel virus
And
we've never
everybody's
encountered before.
right.
Because
So
now
what-
the doctors will acknowledge that
And
you
Dr.
can't.
Fauci has a medical
But at the time, they were
degree.
censoring Bobby because Bobby said, where's the science to show us this? And there wasn't any. But people attacked him and said, you're wrong. So it's like, let's take a step back. I know that's your opinion, and that's okay.
Can we
Cheryl, one thing that I think we can all agree on, and you're a big fan of with
thank
his,
you.
is
What can we all
the
agree
MAHA
on?
movement.
I love that. What can we all agree on? I think these little sarcastic quips let the audience know that she recognizes the toxicity of this environment. I can't say for certain, but I believe she's winning some of them over. I'll point out some evidence for that a bit later.
Movement, Make America Healthy Again. You praise your husband's campaign to make food and baby formula safer, which I think is something everyone can get on board with. Tell us about that.
Well, thank you. I am very proud of Bobby, and he has worked really hard to get a lot of petroleum-based food dyes out of our food, which also, and finish the thought, even baby formula, now we're finding out there's arsenic, there's lead. So the question is...
This is where I'm most impressed. I've seen many counterpunch with Sonny, but it's rare to see someone initiate. Cheryl gets right back in her face until she has to be rescued by joyless Behar.
Who is running HHS when they allowed lead and arsenic in a baby formula? How is that person not
Well,
dangerous?
two wrongs don't make a right.
No! Well, I'm saying Bobby is the one getting this out.
I know. Good for him. On that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Can we clear one thing before you go?
Yes.
Now you're about to witness a pretty sad, desperate, and unfunny moment. Credit to their audience. I only hear like one person chuckle.
Does he or does he not have a brain worm?
It ate just a little bit of his brain and died, so don't worry.
So it's a dead brain
What?
worm.
What died? Wait, what? The brain died? Wait, wait.
It's a callback to the campaign.
So come back
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cheryl gets one final shot in when Sunny suggests her husband come on the show.
You know?
My husband
love for
was
your
going to
husband
come
to
on,
come
and
on.
I said, maybe don't.
No, because if we can have the discussion
Yeah.
back and forth,
Yes.
it then becomes they can decide what
Yes.
they believe,
I-
and they're not just hearing one side.
I would love that.
I think she probably won a few people over with this interview, at least a little. And with the view audience, that's not easy to do. And I'll wrap it up there. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. See you soon.